In this video, we are going to review components of arguments and clarify key terms. First and foremost, every box contains a claim. That claim is called a conclusion if it is supported by another claim. It's called a premise if it supports another claim, and an objection if it undermines another claim. Premises and conclusions and objections are all claims. What makes them one or the other depends on their role in the larger argument. Claims are the kind of thing that are true or false, or justified or unjustified. The one word we won't use to describe claims is valid or invalid. In another context, the word valid does apply. In another context, the word valid might mean legitimate. But in our context, we mean something precise. Valid means if the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. And that's a concept that only applies to arguments and inferences. Arguments are valid or invalid, or good or bad, or strong or weak. Claims are true or false, or justified or unjustified. What it means to say that a claim is justified is that it's supported by a good argument, that there are good reasons to believe it, which requires not only having an argument, but being able to evaluate it. And we're not really focused on evaluating arguments at this step, just clarifying terminology and the component parts. Now, because the claims are the kind of thing that are true or false, the boxes should contain complete sentences. Something like, Jane's store isn't a sentence. Jane is at the store is, and what matters is not grammar, but what it asserts. It's the kind of thing that can be true or false. So you want to make sure your boxes have complete sentences. You also don't want to include the argument indicator words in your boxes because Jane is at the store isn't an assertion or a complete sentence. The bars represent the relationships between the claims. Now, an argument is any claim supported by another claim. So this is an argument, and likewise, this right here is an argument. Now this is a premise, and this is a conclusion in this sub-argument, and when there is more than one level, we might call the conclusion at the top the main claim. So sub-argument. We can also support an objection, in which case we have an argument against this claim. And this is a premise for this objection, which undermines this claim. So sub-arguments and objections, if supported with reasons, are arguments too. And as we hinted earlier, an argument is not true or false. An argument is good or bad. And whenever we say something is good, we have to say what the standards are. If we're using deductive standards, we'll say what it means for an argument to be good is that it's sound, or at least merely valid, or it's not good at all, it's invalid. And likewise, if we use a different set of standards, we can say an argument is cogent or merely strong or weak. Okay, back to some of the other terminology we have up here. We've already said we can use conclusion or main claim to talk about this box, and we could call this a premise or a sub-conclusion. And likewise, this is an objection supported by a premise. Another word for premise is reason or evidence. We'll use those words interchangeably. And we can also object to objections. In which case, both of these are objections because they both give reasons to reject the claim above it. Sometimes we call this a rebuttal when it's an objection to an objection. Finally, let's talk about two specifically argument mapping terms. Reason rule. Reason rule just means that if you use a green bar, whatever is under a green bar is a premise or reason to believe the claim above it. And similarly, the objection rule is if you use a red bar, whatever is under a red bar is a reason to reject the claim above it. And so if you think of the person who defends 1.1 as Team A and the person who is objecting to 1.1, if it's a different person, as Team B, notice that this is part of Team B's argument for rejecting Team A's claim, whereas this is Team A's rebuttal to Team B's objection to their claim. So 3.3 and 1.1 are on the same team, and 2.2 and 3.2 are on the same team. Sometimes it's useful to use colors to clarify this. Oh, those are ugly. That's better. Don't worry about colors for now. This is more about making a point about the argument map than about how to make it pretty. Okay, now we can more clearly see this objection goes together, and all of the default white boxes support 1.1. Okay, hopefully that clarifies some of the terminology we use to describe arguments in their complex structures.